Good evening and welcome. Thank you for keeping the date with me on Weekend Report. Tonight, a quick look at our highlights. The African Democratic Congress ADC suspends presidential candidate. We have a review of some major news items that made the headlines during the week. And on our discussion segment tonight, we x-ray the extension of ASU strike and the inherent consequences. My guest is a stakeholder in the education sector. He's in a hold-up, but I hope he meets us before the end of the news. Plus updates from the world of sports and, of course, weather. All this and more shortly. Please stay with us. The African Democratic Congress has suspended its presidential candidate, Dumebi Kachukwu, over false, misguided and defamatory video made and circulated, among other offenses. In a statement by the Deputy National Chairman, Dr. Bamidele Ajadi, says that the National Working Committee viewed with great concern the baseless and defamatory video by Kachukwu, which was intended to disparage the integrity and image of a peaceful and transformation-oriented African Democratic Congress and its National Working Committee. According to the Deputy National Chairman, Kachukwu's speech in the video contravened the principles and values upon which ADC is founded and specific provision of Article 16 of the ADC Constitution. He also added that the National Working Committee believes that to demean the character of the founders and financiers of ADC, who have worked tirelessly to build an enviable brand that Nigerians are proud of, is unacceptable, and therefore found Dumebi action irresponsible and completely unfit for someone who wants to be the president of Nigeria. And to news that made the headlines during the week, ILORIN Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has busted a syndicate of illegal miners with 5 truckloads of minerals of different types worth millions of naira in Patigi local government area of Kwara State. Abdulafiz Alaya reports that the miners were arrested in a joint operation by EFCC, Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps.
Kwara State is blessed with an area of mineral resources, but the activities of illegal miners have continued to deprive the state and the federal government the economic benefits accrued from the natural endowments. The collaborative effort of the EFCC, NSCDC, and Ministry of Mines and Steel Development to curb the economic sabotage is however yielding results, with the arrest of 10 members of a mining syndicate through an effective surveillance. They were caught with 5 trucks of lipidolite and other lithium family metals of about 150 tons per truck. This would have robbed the federal government of revenue in millions of naira, if not for the swift intervention of the agencies, who are working around the clock to put a stop to the economic crime.
We want to assure the entire nation that this particular operation is just the beginning of the good days. This collaboration will fetch the state, and it's just sending the signals to the entire nation, wherever all our solid minerals have been taken illegally. And we, the security agents, they are already on their toes to checkmate this.
Members of the public are advised to always avail the EFCC of information about illegal mining and other economic sabotage in their domains to safeguard all means through which the government generates revenue to drive growth and development. Abdulafiz Alaya, NTA News.
In another development, the Kwara Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has arrested 2 suspects in connection with rail vandalization in Ogbondoroko, a local government area of Kwara State. Aisha Abubakar Yaya reports that 3 other suspects were also paraded at the Kwara State headquarters of the NSCDC.
22-year-old Wahid Ganiu and 24-year-old Mujid Afolabi were caught by the men of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps in Ogbondoroku, outside local government area of Kwara State, at the rail station where they were about to cart away fish plates erected at the train station. The 2 suspects confessed to the crime but claimed that it was their first time of involving in such crime. 3 other suspects were caught with laptops and handsets stolen from the house they burgled around Wara in Ilorin West local government area of Kwara State.
We go and vandalize the railway this station. I want to sell it.
I don't know that it's too late. I won't do anything because no tell me. Because the only thing that he tell me about the system is that said one his sister brother said he died. So he said his sister brother died. So before everybody will pack the things that is inside the room. So that's why he took the system.
Public Relations Officer of Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Kwara Command, Olasukanmi Ayeni, disclosed that the suspects will be charged to court and necessary actions taken thereafter.
We are always on guard to ensure that these criminals who are hell-bent on making Nigerians ungovernable, uncomfortable Nigerians are being brought to book.
The command is appealing to the general public to always give relevant information to the command in order to tackle crimes and criminalities at all times. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
And moving away from security matters, we move to education. Nigerians have been reacting to the indefinite strike by ASU. Some people have been speaking with correspondent Kendi Omolosho.
The 6-month strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities has no doubt caused a major setback to the education sector, as students that are supposed to graduate do not know their fate, while those that just wrote JAMB are in the dark. However, consultations have been ongoing between the federal government and ASU, with no logical conclusion reached so far. Another meeting was held by ASU executives on August 29, 2022, which again ended in deadlock. The aftermath of this decision is creating worries to parents and students of federal universities across the country.
The future of our children is at stake, and as a matter of fact, we already have a lot of security challenges on our hands. We already have a lot of society menace on our hands.
No any side that is appropriately upright there. 2 of them, they have their own shortcomings too. But in the situation where maybe we are demanding for certain or 5 things there, and the federal government have done or 2 or 3 out of that 5 too, ASU should try to shift ground.
We are pleading to the ASU chairman to negotiate with the government again so that we can resume early.
The appeal from students and parents is for both parties to come to a positive conclusion so as to save the education system from collapsing.
For somebody who has gone on strike, the law is very clear. For the period that you are not at work, of course you don't expect to get paid. So while it is the right of ASU to go on strike, maybe for justifications that they have identified, it is also the entitlement of the federal government to assert its right of not paying for the period that these gentlemen were not at work. And as a lawyer, I'm fully in support of that.
Kendi Omolosho, NTA News.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kendi Omolosho, for that report. Unfortunately, my guest is unable to make it, but that will not stop us. We move ahead now to economic matters. Over 600 micro and small business owners have benefited from the first tranche of the Kwara State operational grant to boost their business and in turn contribute to the growth and economic development of the state. Correspondent Abdulhafiz Alaya reports that the World Bank assisted program was facilitated by the Kwara State government.
The outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent lockdown to tame its spread did not only impede social but also economic activities across the country. It is with a view to helping businesses recover from the effects of COVID-19 pandemic that Kwara State government is assessing the World Bank credit facility and disburse same as grants to keep MSMEs afloat. 45 small-scale business owners are getting 700,000 naira each, while 623 micro-scale businesses are receiving 200,000 naira grants each.
The NGKS program is going to last for 24 months. So it's in 4 tranches. So what we are doing here today is the first tranche. We'll be waiting for the World Bank to carry out their IVA verification. Once they are done, to ensure that we pay the rest of the people, we'll open the portal again to receive new applications, and then we'll do the second tranche, the third tranche, and the fourth tranche.
You have to be accountable for the funds that you've received by using it judiciously for what it is meant for in promoting your businesses.
To Shuaib Zakaria, a merchant of Asufi, the grant is a huge relief considering the losses business suffered during the lockdown.
Businesses was locked down from March to July. There's no production, no selling of Asufi. Even we didn't travel to Lagos to any place that time. We suffer a lot.
I'm brought up in Kwara. Since I was born, I've never ever experienced this in my life. So I'm very grateful. May Almighty Allah make his dream to be actualized.
The operational grant is expected to be closely followed by the IT enhancement grant, which is the last component of the COVID-19 business recovery intervention under Kwasib. Abdelaziz Alaya, NTA News.
Congratulations to all the beneficiaries. Moving ahead, we'll take a short break now, and when we come back, there'll be more news. Please stay with us.
Sports Zone. This is your sports rendezvous, happening in the world of sports. You deserve to know. You want it analyzed? Sports Zone on NTA ILORIN, both local and international. You get the breaking news and the history, analyzing with brilliant sports exponents. Live every Wednesday, 9 to 9:30 in the morning. That's the time for your wonderful moment in sports infotainment. Sports Zone. Join us. Let's set the agenda.
Thank you for staying with us on the Nigerian Television Authority, ILORIN, and you are still watching Weekend Report. Moving ahead, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, in October 2021, launched Nigeria's central bank digital currency, e-Naira, to reduce cash inflow in the country and encourage electronic banking transaction for all. With the launch of the USSD code recently by CBN to enable Nigerians enjoy the e-Naira, Hamad Fulani examines the benefits and difficulties of using the electronic bank transaction.
Nigeria became the first African country to introduce a digital currency that will be used in lieu of cash as a means of business transaction. The policy is aimed at promoting and facilitating financial inclusion, enable direct welfare disbursement to citizens, as well as facilitate diaspora remittances, which in turn will boost the country's economy. Although described by financial experts as a lofty economic plan to reduce risk attached to carrying currency in cash, inadequate sensitization and poor network system encountered are major hindrances militating against e-Naira.
Even have some advantage on the dollar that is evaluating our money, because the CBN will be able to regulate our level of Naira with the dollar.
Tunde Majason, who knows about e-Naira, is not convinced Nigeria is ready for the policy yet and wants the country to fully upgrade to 5G network for e-Naira to be successful.
I have data. I want to even transfer money now. I cannot do. They should work on our level of technology. That is highly important.
While e-Naira has numerous benefits for the country and its citizens, it may not be within the reach of Nigerians living in rural areas who are not conversant with technology.
The rural area cannot be equipped with the level the urban people are equipped with the e-Naira, because the transaction at the local level may not be feasible.
Even easier to track electronic money transfer than giving cash to people. So any money that moves through the payment system, electronic payment system, online payment system, is easy for the regulator to track.
Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has unveiled the USSD code for the country's digital currency, e-Naira, which is *997#. The code, according to the Apex Bank, will help deepen financial inclusion as all transactions can be accessed through the channel. Ahmed Fulani, NTA News.
And from financial matters, we move to infrastructure. Residents and shop owners along Kolende Estate Road are appealing to the state government to rehabilitate their roads. Olajide Bello has an update on road rehabilitation within Ilorin Metropolis.
Is Gomo Road, and by that other side there is Apo Junction. This route is one of the entry and exit points into the state, but the deplorable state of the road over time has been a major concern for road users and those residing in the area. What needs to be done to find a lasting solution to this road? Let's find out.
You see this car I'm using, I'll spend almost 60,000 naira on this car to get this car fixed, and it's so painful. Assuming people in the civil authority are using this road now and then, I believe that this road will have been fixed before now. Please, I want to urge the government, whether state or federal local government, to come to our aid in time.
Since 1999, they have touched this road last. My appeal to state government is just helping us in any other way to look into this road for us. I have a lot of damage in our tricycle, in our Okada, including motors. There's no drainage in this road, so we have a lot of challenges on this road.
So I'm expecting that it should be part of the responsibility in collaboration with the government to make sure that they try to sanction who are the company owners to make sure they are part of the maintenance. Because the heavy truck they are using is the causes of the problem we have there. Most of us, when we are going to that side, we prefer going by bypass by the market. But when you are unlucky, you have to go to our farm on market days. You can't pass through the bypass.
We want government to help us for this road, because most of the time the road they give hold up where rainfall, so they always get problem.
Well, the songs in the mouths of residents and those flying this route is that whenever it rains along this axis, it becomes a nightmare. The next port of call will be the Ministry of Works to see what plans they have to fix this road. Despite efforts to get information about ongoing road projects from the Kwara State Commissioner for Works, my efforts was futile as he declined comments. It's been Olajide Bello reporting for NTA News.
Thank you, Olajide Bello. Despite government and the Meteorological Society's warning on flood, some areas experienced flood in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. Abdul Wahid Bibiri tells us what that community is doing about the flood.
Hotel flood in Ilorin metropolis, some areas seem to be in more danger as flood has started taking over people's houses and property. One of such area in Ilorin is Isale Koko. Abdulhakim Rahim resides in Isale Koko. His fear of being rendered homeless is fast approaching as they all cannot sleep with their eyes closed any longer.
Anytime rain fall, even if the rain is not much, even if it's small rain, but based on the water from other places and the people that they are pouring, they are dumping things inside the water, so everything is coming down, and when they come down, the water is going to escalate and disturb people. There is no place people can put their leg to their house. Some people will get injured before getting into their house.
A lot of people had flee their houses, while some people abandoned their project just because of the inability to control the flood being experienced in the area. Other residents and shop owners are also being threatened by flood, which perhaps is as a result of the area's proximity to Asa River, a major river in Kwara State.
They usually pack out of that very houses until like 2-3 months before that very erosion just move away. They will be able now to move into the houses.
We appeal to government to extend the ongoing dredging of Asa River to Isale Koko in order to prevent the annual flooding.
Although one man's food, they say, is another man's poison, some people are still taking advantage of the situation for agricultural purposes. The presidency had sometime last year flagged off erosion and flood control here at Isale Koko, area of Ilorin East local government, Kwara State, but up to now, the project has not taken off. The appeal of the residents is for government to urgently intervene. Abdulwahid Bibire, NTA News.
We'll take another quick break now, and when we come back, we still have more news. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on the Television Authority, ILORIN, and you're still watching Weekend Report. And now we move straight to sport. The Nigerian Super Falcons will be aiming to record their first win in 7 games against the United States Women's National Team as the team begins their 2-match contest ahead of the Women's World Cup. Olajide Bello has details of this and more from the world of sport.
United States of America and Nigeria, who have already secured qualification for the 2023 Women's World Cup finals in Australia and New Zealand, will have a second match at the Audi Field in Washington on September 6th. USA and Nigeria's meeting at the Children's Mercy Park in Kansas City will be the 7th time in history both countries have met, with 4 at the Women's World Cup in 1999, 2003, 2007 and 2015. In another development, Nigerian Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa has joined Turkish Super League team Sivasspor after terminating his contract with Faith Karagümrük by mutual consent. The former CSK Moscow winger signed a 2-year deal with Sivasspor and will play in the UEFA Europa Conference League with his new team this season. The first Merseyside derby for 2022-2023 English Premier League between Everton and Liverpool had ended in a draw. The match left Liverpool still below the top 4 following a poor start to the new campaign, while Frank Lampard's Everton are still without a win in 6 games. Meanwhile, Nigeria's under-19 girls volleyball team on Friday lost to Cameroon 3-1 in the opening match of the 2022 Under-19 African Cup of Nations Volleyball Championship. The Nigerian team won only the first set by 29-27, while they lost 20-25 in the second set, 14-25 in the third set, and finally lost the fourth set by 20-25. For Sport Tidbits, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
And now we move to weather for tomorrow, Sunday, 4th of September 2022. And it is on this note we conclude our package tonight on Weekend Report. Please keep it with us next week, Saturday, God willing. Good evening and enjoy the rest of your weekend.